So today, the theme of my session is going to be opening up our minds to new possibilities. When our minds are closed, we're not suggestible. People can't suggest new things to us, and we won't try anything new, whether it's a place to go, food, people that we haven't met, restaurants, activities, video games. Some of us are in the older generation and haven't or never tried a video game before. So how closed is your mind? Because the more closed it is, the less new discoveries you will be taking in this path of life, whatever time that's left. How about living life with a bit of excitement for a little bit of adventure and for something exciting that's new, that maybe you've never really tried it before, or you may have tried it once before and it didn't really work out. And so you're not very keen because you didn't like the feeling of failure or the feeling of not knowing how to master something. Well, for me during this COVID, I've been doing so much cooking, and now I venture into cooking Indian dishes. I've really been so delighted with myself learning how to cook butter chicken, and I've just done fish masala. I've been cooking biryani rice, and today I'm going to try aloo gobi. So when our minds are open and we're willing to try new things, we go into a totally different world, a world that, you know, we thought it was alien, and the only time we can eat Indian is when we go to an Indian restaurant. Well, I have now my own Indian kitchen. I've got all my Indian spices, and I've also done Italian cooking. So when our mind is open, there are lots of new possibilities. And I'd like to encourage you to open up your mind, because if you don't, there's so many things in this world you'll never discover. Yeah. So how do we open our mind? That's how mindfulness helps, because mindfulness helps us to focus our mind in the present and to be comfortable with whatever arises in the present moment. And we're only comfortable when we don't have negative judgments, when we don't have biasness and prejudices that may have been conditioned in us while we were growing up, or by the media, or by our friends, by our relatives, who may not be so open, and they plant all these negativity in our heads about certain group of people they're not comfortable with, or certain types of food that they don't like. But instead of listening to them, is to go out there and discover for yourself, and especially people. Under the skin, the color that it has, we're all made the same. Our bones are the same color. Our blood's the same color. And if you ever end up in a hospital and you need blood, you have no idea where the blood's coming from someone of the same color or different color, from Singapore or somewhere else. We have no idea. Because under the skin, we're all the same. And in our mind, we're only different because we're conditioned differently. But when we practice mindfulness, we have that awareness of the conditioning, and we can put those past prejudices, biasness, and judgments aside. And we're now able to step into the world with openness, getting to know people beyond the color of their skin, or their ethnicity, their race, where they're from, their gender, their sexual orientation. And we will actually have a more harmonious, happier world, because we can get along with people. And the more people we can get along with, the world becomes a more interesting place. Do you know your neighbor? And I wrote an article that was in the Straits Times, and those of you who haven't read it, it was in the Monday Straits Times, about getting to know your neighbor. Because in Singapore, we live in such close proximity with each other in flats. 5 steps would probably reach another flat. In my apartment block, I think it's only 2 steps from my doorstep to my neighbor's door. And yet, many people don't know their neighbors. So even if you don't know their names, you could at least start by saying, hello, how are you? What do you do? And start with giving our own name first. Because it's not like there's anything they can do to us by knowing our name. And what is so secretive about our life? Is there so much that we need to be protective of? After all, we're neighbors. We need to look after each other, look out for each other. A neighbor that we can reach out to if I need to borrow something. And a neighbor who can come to me if she needs something. And a neighbor who can knock my door if there's an emergency and I could be of help. That's the kind of neighborliness that I would like to develop. And I hope you would too. Look beyond the judgments that you may have formed in your head and get to know the people for what they are. So now, I'd like to invite you to do this practice of loving kindness. First, turning into ourselves and to send ourselves goodwill wishes. Because when we have kindness towards ourselves and we know about what it is to do self-care, then it is much more natural for us to care about other people. Now, you may think you care about yourself, but do you really look after your health? Look after your well-being? Because when you look after your well-being, a healthy mind is an open mind. A healthy mind is not a closed mind, a mind that's filled of negative judgment, self-doubt, criticism, cynicism, sarcasm. That is not a healthy mind. So in doing this mindfulness practice is to develop that awareness. What fills our mind? And the stuff that are not healthy, we can now replace them with healthier versions, healthier thoughts. Okay, so now I'd like to invite you. Check into our body. How's our shoulders doing? Let's wriggle them a little bit. Release any tightness or tension that may be there. Yeah. Check into our neck. Do a neck rotation. Release any tension that could be in our neck. Good. And now let's just raise our arms up. Yeah, as high as possible. Letting the sides of your upper arms touch your ears. And straighten up your back. And release all that tension that could be in the lower back. How do you feel now? Good. It's a little bit of stretch. Yeah. And then just rotate them a little bit more and remove any tension that could be in there. Yeah, that feels better, right? Okay. So now let's close our eyes and start with 3 beautiful deep breaths. And filling up our body with this beautiful oxygen. See, oxygen doesn't discriminate against any of us. Mother Nature, the earth, gives oxygen to everybody. It doesn't discriminate. She doesn't say, oh, this person deserves more oxygen than the other person. And whatever carbon dioxide we exhale, Mother Nature processes that with the plants. And through its photosynthesis process, we get oxygen back from the plants, the trees, the bushes, the grass. The water that Mother Nature gives us doesn't discriminate either. We're all able to use the water to clean our hands, wash our face, wash our body, cook, drink. So we can only emulate Mother Nature for being generous in its non-discriminatory ways and just being open and letting everyone who needs care into our arms, just as planet Earth does. And we'll start with the 6 words, may I be well and happy. And giving ourselves the unconditional love. Put aside judgments of even ourselves. May I be well and happy. And feel the love and the care you give yourself with sincerity and abundance. May I be well and happy. This is a wonderful way of opening our minds to possibilities, because our mind is now filled with love, care, kindness. May I be well and happy. And now bring to mind someone that you love. Whoever is the first that pops up in your mind will do. And wish this person to be well and happy. So replacing I with the name of the person or of its mom. May mom be well and happy. Now bring to mind another person that you care about and wish this person to be well and happy. Now bring to mind someone you're grateful to and wish this person to be well and happy. You sometimes could be surprised by who your mind throws up. And bring to mind another person that you're grateful to, someone who's helped you or given you opportunity, guided you. Wish this person to be well and happy. And now, invite someone into your mind that you've had problems with, difficulties with. And notice how your body may react, whether there's any tightness, any constriction. And wish this person to be well and happy as well. Practicing letting go. The first step to forgiveness. Because after all, holding a grudge or resenting someone will only hurt you more and affect your health. So wish this person to be well and happy. Just like planet Earth, Mother Nature, forgives everyone, welcomes everyone, even when they exploit the earth. So wish this person that may have annoyed you, hurt you, and wish this person to be well and happy. Because in doing so, you reduce the stress in your own body, improve your own health. Now come back to yourself. May I be well and happy. May I be well and happy. You are, after all, responsible for your own happiness. So you don't have to wait for someone to validate you, to wish you well. Wish yourself well. May I be well and happy. And now just dropping into your beautiful breath, focusing wherever you feel your breath to be. I'm feeling grateful to have this breath. Because one day, this breath is going to stop. And our life will come to an end. So while we have this breath, treasure the time. And how do we treasure the time? Make ourselves useful to others. Add value to people's lives. Give kindness, care. Instead of giving criticisms, cynicisms, sarcasm. We don't have time for all that. Life is short. Speak words that bring delight and joy to others. And we in return get so much joy and delight back. So now, before we end this practice, bring to mind something kind that you can do for someone that is important to you. Something kind, whatever it is. And counting 3 more breaths. And slowly open your eyes with joy and delight that, hey, I'm alive. So how do you feel now? How was the practice for you? Love to hear from you.